figure fans, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming with another video review. As always, if you're an old subscriber, thanks for coming back. If you're new one though, welcome. Before you leave, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and bell notifications so that you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new review. And on today's episode, thanks to the support of my friend and patron Army Mike, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Studio Series Deluxe class Bumblebee, specifically the Concept Camaro version. For the package, you do have that nice open window that fully showcases the figure. Cool CGI image of him right there, because he is from the Transformers movie, the very first one, which is why I say this is the Concept Camaro. Because when this was first kind of revealed, the production model of the Camaro wasn't out yet. You got that nice Transformer text along the side, Generation logo. You got an up-close image of B with his battle mask right there, which looks cool. And then the other side here has a more pullback image of him, giving us a more full look at his body. Coming around to the back of the package, you see he transforms in 39 steps, which is a lot, especially for a deluxe figure. Then you got the vehicle mode as well as the robot mode. And you can see that the one-sentence bio says Bumblebee trades his clunker look for something shiny and new. He's shiny. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the 2007 version of Bumblebee opened up out of his packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. And you know what? I've lost track of how many times we've gotten a Bumblebee figure over the past decade. Whatever that number is definitely up there. But you know, what really impresses me with this one is that while it still has a very similar sort of transformation, there's actually a lot of stuff that's different about this, which kind of keeps it fresh. Now, normally I would show you his accessories. It is just his arm cannon. He just holds it, it plugs into his hand, and then it kind of fills in and looks like it's coming out of his hand. The problem, though, is that Pepper has decided that she wants to learn how to jump up onto my desk and take things. That also includes my review area. Here is Brains, that you saw in my most recent video of Shockwave. Wheelie has disappeared. And with as small as he is, she might have swallowed him. I have honestly no idea, but I'm looking here and there's nothing. I got no wheelie. And I also have no weapon for him, so I can't really show you that, but it can actually plug into the back section right here, which looks ridiculous anyhow, because it's just a giant bit that hangs off here. Now, I don't know if I'm doing something entirely wrong, but I have a hard time, especially on this side, getting this to completely collapse in there. It's supposed to tab in there, but you can see you have a gap right there, and it just, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm definitely doing something wrong if it's not lining up properly. But overall, I do really like the way that this guy looks. You do have some visible robot stuff on the bottom. As I said, there is some pretty interesting new elements to the transformation, which is pretty fun. Taking a look at the previous version of him from the same movie, here is that original Camaro. He is a little bit shorter than that original. A little bit taller, though, I would say. All in all, this is fun. I mean, through the first part of the movie, this is how we saw Bumblebee traveling around. It's how he looked when he first meets Sam and all that kind of stuff. And then they make the snide comment. Well, Michaela does make the snide comment about, you know, like, he's a super alien role. Why is he turned into this piece of crap Camaro? So then he's driving around. This car is going this way. He scans it. It goes away. He dumps him out. Then he drives away. And then he comes back. That's my impression, but that's how it happens. And like I said, initially, this was a concept vehicle. This isn't what the production one looked like, although it's pretty much spot on. I would imagine that there were things that were different with it, mostly in terms of actually putting stuff into it, like all the bells and whistles and stuff to actually make it a sellable vehicle. It really bothers me I can't do that, but decent. You know, I mean, overall, it is a deluxe size. He rolls fairly well. Good color with the rims and everything. You can see a lot of the body is just yellow. One thing that I'm noticing is, I don't know how well you're able to see this. This is a slightly different color. This is painted yellow, whereas this one is just the molded plastic. You can kind of see the paint difference there. They did a pretty decent job of matching it. I'm happy with that. You got some silver up here for the headlights. Obviously, the little gold for the Chevy logo. Black here for the fog lights. I like this one. I think that it's really cool. It's not my favorite look for the Camaro. That was the Dark of the Moon one. Well, the Dark of the Moon and Revenge of the Fallen. Like, I like the fog light area on the Revenge of the Fallen one, and then I like the stripe pattern in the Dark of the Moon one. So that's the one that I drove, and I like that. But you got the red taillights and everything. Overall, really nice. I do like how the guy turned out. Now, again, transformation there is some similar elements to it, and as you're doing it, you will feel it. So it doesn't really feel entirely new, but it does feel, well, I mean, it is entirely new, but it does have a familiar feel to it. First, I'm going to come around here to these doors and open these bits up just like so. Get that on both sides. These might tab or fall down. If they do, you know, it's no big deal. But again, I'm trying to look in here just to kind of see if I don't have everything collapsed in. I have no idea. Go ahead and separate this just a little bit. You can detach this, and then this piece here. You're going to loosen all this up along the side of him, just separating all of that, and then everything is going to kind of fold out into place. Pull this away. This part here, it initially made me feel very nervous, but because of how stiff it is, I thought I was going to break something, but you do have to just use a little bit of force to get it to go over a little lip, and then basically that's what you want. Come around here to the front. You can take these bits here, tab in very securely as well, so just kind of loosen these. Separate that from the body, and then do that on this side as well. And then you can take this whole section here and you can push this back, kind of hinge this. That comes off sometimes, just kind of hinge that back, and then this piece right here just pops back on there. It stays on there fairly decently, but there is some tightness issues with some of these. Go ahead and reach in here and you can pull these arms out. Just kind of get things out of the way. Here, pull that down. Pull that up like that. Then you can hinge this piece, rotate this around. That's going to be his chest. And then you can bring these up, and these are going to rotate to the back section. So spin that around like that. Spin that around like that. Make sure that this is kind of out of the way. And that's going to come up like that. And you'll be able to fiddle with that here in a little bit. Bring this piece up, bring these arms up like so. Gonna put that in the right position like that. And then come down here to these feet. Yeah, see that kind of. I wish that did pin in, but that doesn't. So just kind of leave it like that. Bring these pieces out on the side, and then this splits, and then you can rotate this piece out and around, and then it brings all of this around, and then bring that up so you can fully bring this around to the outside. Take this piece, you're going to rotate that around like that, and then spin them around there. Make sure you push that and lock that into place. This is going to then collapse in and swivel forward. Take this piece, tuck that in like so. So again, bring this piece out, kind of get this middle section loosened up and away. Reach in here, grab his foot, bring all this out, and get this kind of out of the way. What's happening? There we go. No. Get you out the way, little guy. And then pull that out, bring that around, and then lock that into place. Rotate him at the thigh. That's going to spin around. That's flopping all over the place. Bring this piece in, put that up there, kind of straighten out this, take the little tire, tuck that in, straighten these legs out, these little bits here, rotate it all the way around, cover like the front of his thighs, and then rotate him here. Oh wait, get that lifted up and out of the way, and then rotate him at the waist, like so. Then bring this whole section down, and you're going to create his little faux chest. Kind of angle these arms up just to create the clearance that you're going to need. This whole bit right here is going to rotate around and then clip into place, kind of being angled. Then bring this all the way down, put that right down there. It'll kind of lock in. Did it lock in? I want to feel if it did. Yeah, there we go. Then these bits right here, you want to take this, fold that under, and then this under, and then these little pieces, you can bring these down. Yeah, let's see, hinge this whole section back. And then one thing I actually like is you have a little divot thingy, or a little notch right there that's going to line up right on this little clear section. So just rotate this around, bring that down, and that kind of locks that into place like so. Bring these little bits down like that. Now here you can take these little wings, and you got a little swivel. You can kind of angle those up like that, giving him the little B look of sorts. And then take his little forearm bits, bring those out. And you can see, I mean, there's a lot of steps to this guy. And it's not just the same type of transformation, which is great. But when you're done, there you have Bumblebee in his robot mode. And really, again, they've nailed this figure. There really isn't much about him that I don't like the looks of. The only thing that I wish they could somehow figure out is if they could get these pieces here to kind of rotate down. Not so much maybe tucking them completely underneath the backpack, but just angling them down where you don't see them kind of from the front, where all you see are these wings. And I love how they engineered it so that you can articulate these. They did a really very good job with this guy, really. And again, how many times have we gotten Bumblebee and they keep kind of reinventing the wheel with them, and I think it's great. Now there's always one other part that I'm not a big fan of. I get that he had the battle mask. I just wish he didn't come with it, or they figured out a way to kind of incorporate a transformation element where you could have a regular head and that one. But there is hope. Now, for some comparisons, real quick, here we have the Bumblebee movie. Bumblebee, you can see that he is smaller. Obviously, the Camaro is a larger car than Volkswagen Beetle, so I mean, that makes sense that he's going to be that size. And bringing in the old Camaro version of Bumblebee, you can see that size, I mean, he does get slightly bigger as time goes on. But with the wings here kind of going up, you can see that this kind of stands out a little bit more. All of these kind of had that. It's just you can't really get that flush. I don't think that bends back again, and I don't want to damage anything. So, I mean, they kind of stick out a little bit in... You know, it is what it is. Now, I always kind of regretted having to double dip and buy a second version of this Camaro. This one was always good. It didn't obviously have the coloring that you needed or anything. That has a little bit more accurate of a coloring. But one thing that's nice is you do get this head with it, which is basically the exact same one as that one. And what that then means is that I have a second head for him, which is the exact same as this. So literally, and his head didn't really change much throughout the years. So while this is nice and I do like it, I mean, it is a really nice detail, and I do like how you can kind of see it does look like an insect sort of head with the way that the little mouthpiece comes down. You can remove it. It is on a ball joint. It's a little bit tricky to get to, so just kind of get a good hold on there, pull that off, and it attaches the exact same way. So you can just put that on there and give that a good little shove. There we go. And now, I've beat the system. You got a regular headed version for him, and it's perfectly acceptable. I mean, it works perfectly fine, and it does the job that it needs to. It has that look. It's not that I don't like this, but I prefer that look for him. So really super cool that I can do that. Getting these guys out of the way. Articulation wise, like you could see, these little bits here can kind of articulate up and down. You can leave those flat along the back, or I like angling them up because they were angled up for the majority of the time. So you can do that. The head, depending on which one you have on there, does the exact same thing. Looks up, down, left, right. Like I said, it's a ball joint, and that ball section is the same size, so it works beautifully. You do have, as part of the transformation, a bit of a shoulder hinge right there on the connecting part, and then the part here that attaches to the arm is a ball joint so that it can move freely any which way you want. This is like, I'm going to keep this up. What am I doing? I feel like that's not pushed in all the way. Trying to see if maybe I don't have that done right now. And I think it just kind of rests there. I wish that kind of locked into place a little bit better, but it is what it is. You do have a ball joint here at the elbow, allows the forward and back, swivel, all that kind of stuff. Wrists don't really do anything. They just kind of sit there, which that's kind of stinky. I do wish they put a little hinge right there, but unlike most of the other Bumblebee figures, his hand actually doesn't fold up along the forearm. So that's kind of a new twist. He does rotate at the waist, which is very nice, but it does feel like it's a little bit tight. Kind of feels like it wants to bounce back, but it does have that waist rotation. You have a ball joint here at the hip, swivel right at the knee, obviously because this all kind of comes around here. You can't really put the swivel there, so they put it right at the knee, and then you have the hinge at the knee itself. The ankles kind of move forward and back as, again, part of the transformation, but when you do that, obviously that makes it look ugly, but you do have ankle tilt built into it. I mean, so great wide poses. In general, like I said, there are a few bits that I wish were done differently on him, but nothing that really ruins the figure, in my opinion. I'm trying to see, does that kind of lock in? There we go. I mean, you can kind of get over these little things. Aesthetically, I wish those would rotate down or fold back along the door a little bit more. And then I love that I can swap out the head. Maybe they could have included an extra head, that they could have just swapped this out, because, I mean, Marvel Legends do that all the time. So I don't know why they couldn't have added that aspect. You can store his weapon in the little hole here on his butt, well, the back section here. I wish I could show you. I did actually find his gun. One thing about cats, if you guys have cats, you know that cats will play with things, and then they will disappear, and then you'll find them, and then they'll disappear again, because you pretty much pulled it out of its hiding place. So, for example, his gun was in one of my shoes, and I put my shoe on yesterday, and I found it. I set it on my couch side table, fully expecting to be able to come back today, finish up the recording of this, and show that to you, finally. Except it's gone now, again. So, I found it, and then Pepper found it again, and now it is gone again. So, yeah, having a cat is really, really fun, but that's about it on this guy. Great figure, highly detailed, wonderful articulation. The robot mode, the vehicle mode, all look really very good. There are some aesthetic aspects that I wish were done a little bit differently, but I'm perfectly okay with it. I honestly would be happy if they took this basic same mold and just kind of did some remolded parts and gave us that Dark of the Moon look, because like I said, that's my preferred look for Bumblebee throughout all the years. So if they do that, I would be absolutely thrilled, but this one wins. The display that I had set up was all of my original movie Autobots, and he was in it. I'm probably going to take him out now, honestly. This is a winner. This is what's going in my permanent display. So without a doubt, guys, I would recommend picking him up. And all that being said, if you'd like to pick him up, he is available online at places such as Big Bad Toy Store and Amazon. For that, I'll put links down in the video description where you can go to those places and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformer figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate you doing one very small thing for me, and that's just to simply hit that thumbs up button. YouTube kind of ranks things based on what they call audience engagement. and hitting that like button and leaving things like comments really helps to improve that and can really help support my channel. I'd also like to send a huge shout out to all of my patrons who, through their continued support, now more than ever continue to help make reviews like this possible. And if you'd like information on how you can become a patron and help support my channel, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/optibotimus. One small contribution of $1 a month can really help continue to make these reviews coming to you guys at a very consistent basis. And those that already contribute, I cannot thank you enough. And finally, guys, remember, the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.